Hallo zusammen, and welcome to my bedroom. So we are in here because I am about to pack for just an overnight trip, and I'm excited because I'm going to a new place that I've never been to in Germany, and that is Marburg. So I'm excited to explore Marburg, learn about the history of that area, go sightseeing, of course. And of course, when we travel, we need luggage, right? So I was so happy when Level 8 reached out to me. They are a luggage company, and they sent me a suitcase, which was kind of just in time because my other suitcase has a broken wheel at the moment. So when they reached out to me, I was like, okay. I researched their website, kind of looked at their products. And so I want to show you what they sent me and also pack at the same time. I thought that would make sense. Also, los geht's. So here is the suitcase that I chose. I chose the Grace Luggage 28-inch. Because my husband and I travel a lot together, and so we need enough space to pack together for both of us. And I also appreciate that they have the TSA approved locks. And I don't know about y'all, but I do not like when a brand name is all over an item or a product. And I love that they just kind of very nicely added their brand name here, Level 8. And so I think that actually kind of looks cool. So now I want to test the most important thing to me, which is the space. So here is the inside of the suitcase. I was surprised to see that it came with these little stickers here. You could probably use them for whatever you want, or maybe even to label your suitcase with your name. That might be cool. So far it looks very spacious to me. I like this, and I like that you can adjust it if you want to make it tighter, or if you need it a little bit more loose. So it has a pocket here, which is good. Oh, I like the zippers. Those are nice. It's the details, guys. Okay, yeah. Very nice. Very spacious. Let's go ahead and start packing. Alright, so I'm really happy that I was able to fit everything into one side of the suitcase. Again, it's only for one night, but I did pack a little bit extra. I did check one thing. So I always have an issue with the handles, like pulling them up and down. They always get stuck for me. And so I tested it, and I'm rough with it, and it's working great. So that's awesome. And look at this. Look how easy it is to move it around. So far, so good. Guten Morgen zusammen. So today is the day we are headed to Marburg, and I'm really excited. And we are loading up the trunk. So you ready to go, honey? Los geht's. All right, so we definitely filled it even more with stuff, as it always goes with me. Thank you, hun. And I've been rough with this thing lately. I've been moving it all around and rubbing it against the floor. So far, so good. So we have made it to Marburg, and the first thing we did was get lunch because I was hungry, of course. And we actually stopped at this American-styled restaurant. So I want to say it's more North American maybe, even though it was a burger-styled restaurant. But the burgers were pretty good, and the fries were good too. And the style of the restaurant was kind of, I would say, more Mexican themed. But it was cool. It did remind me of home, so that was kind of cool. And behind me right here is the Rathaus. The Rathaus was actually constructed in the early Gothic style in the 16th century, and it has a tower that was added later in 1581. So what's really cool about the Altstadt is that there are more than 700 historic buildings in this area dating from the 14th and the 19th centuries. So of course we're going to go around, we're going to look at the sites, and I'm going to try my best to give you a little bit of history about this town. So again, los geht's. I really like the doors on the Rathaus. That's cool. And then it tells you exactly when it was built, 1511 to 1526. Kuchenanbau, 1573 to 1577. That's cool. This is actually a really pretty building. The buildings around here are really pretty. So this is still considered Fachwerk, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, these kind of half-timbered houses. So far we've seen a lot of those here in Marburg. It's absolutely beautiful. This is interesting here. These animal heads. I wonder what that's for. So right now we're headed to this church over here. It's called Elisabethkirche. Okay, actually before we get there, we're gonna make a pit stop here at this music store. I think it's maybe called Music Attack, but I'll put it on the screen. Okay, so we have made it to Elisabethkirche. This church was actually built for the tomb of Elizabeth of Hungary after her death, and construction of the church started in 1235. This church is one of the earliest purely Gothic churches north of the Alps and was a major pilgrimage destination in the Middle Ages because of Elizabeth's shrine. After the Reformation in the 16th century, the church became a Protestant church. Okay, we're gonna go see Elizabeth's shrine. This reliquary was created in the mid-13th century and completed in 1249. It once held the relics of Sankt Elisabeth, who was known for her charity and care for the sick. So this was part of the Sankt Elisabeth Hospital, I don't know, Krankenhaus. And here's basically a ruin. This is the Ruina der Franziskuskapelle. And this was the chapel at the hospital. I thought that looked really cool. The chapel was built in 1249 and it was actually demolished in 1887. So now we're walking back the way we came from, back to the Marktplatz, and then we want to walk up to the castle. So we decided to come the more nature-esque way. Isn't this nice, honey?
Very nice.
Look at this little guy. Froschkönig, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mit so einer goldenen Kugel.
Oh. As we're walking, I want to show you guys how pretty it is around here. So, look at the little, I wouldn't really say cobblestone, but maybe like stone walking paths. I don't think I think this is a shopping street, right? Nobody can drive here.
This is also very busy, but it's not as busy as Heidelberg.
Oh, Heidelberg was way more busy than this. I was a little nervous because this is also considered a university town, but it's not too busy right now, so that's good. But look how pretty the buildings are, and there are architecture here from all different time periods, you know, starting in the Middle Ages, going to the early modern period and beyond. And you can really see that all around, and they really lovingly restored some buildings starting in the 70s, I believe. And it just looks like, it feels like you're walking back in time, doesn't it?
Very unique, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we're back at the market square. There's the Rathaus. If you turn this way, where this brown building is, you'll see a small sign right there. It says Schloss, and that's where we're headed, up to the castle. So we walked up here so far to Sankt Marien. And right over here next to the church, we have these great views of these rooftops. My husband pointed out he likes the shape of the rooftops. They're kind of all wonky because they're so old. And it really does add so much more character to the area. It's so pretty. So while we're passing Sankt Marienkirche, this church was actually built back between the 13th and 14th centuries. And just like Elisabethkirche, this also turned Protestant after the Reformation. Yay, stairs. Guys, guess what? More stairs, womp womp. But I can see the castle, so we're close. So this seems to be an image of Sankt Elisabeth, and it has her giving bread to people and holding children. And this actually, I think, represents her charitable side. She was a very charitable woman and gave to the poor, so I think that's nice. So it looks like they have a restaurant up here, which is really cool. And then let me show you guys. Whew, sorry, I'm out of breath. I'm obviously not in shape at all, but this is really beautiful. So we are up here. This is called Landgrafenschloss Marburg. And I want to point out that there is a parking lot up here in case there's any mobility issues, which I think is really great. And my husband pointed out there's also a bus stop here, so that's also great. So I do recommend coming up here because you get some really great views. And over there, we have the Sonnenuntergang. And it's beautiful. So unfortunately, the inside of the castle is closed. I guess because they're doing some renovations. But it's still cool to come up here and walk around. And I'll show you guys some of the views we have. Right now, we're looking at St. Elisabethkirche. So let me show you that real quick. Can you guys see it all the way out there? Boop. Those two steeples are. So this castle was originally a fortress, probably around the 10th or 11th century, and then it was developed into the residence of the Landgraves of Hessen in the 13th century. By the way, if I pronounce anything wrong, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Now you can kind of look through the gate here. It's actually here that the important Marburg colloquy took place in 1529. And a colloquy is just a conversation over theology, basically. And it was led by Landgraf Philip the Magnanimous, reformers such as Martin Luther and Ulrich Zwingli. They met here to debate the nature of the Eucharist, or Eucharist in English, and other theological issues. That's amazing. So as we're walking to our next destination, I wanted to share how pretty our walk is. Look at all the pretty yellow leaves, old Fachwerk houses. Look at this. If you love fall, you need to come here in the fall, for real. So we have made it to our next destination, which is Weidenhäuser Brücke, and the waterway here is the Lahn River, which is pretty important to Marburg, at least throughout history, as an important trade route. The Weidenhäuser Brücke is the oldest Lahn bridge in Marburg, and actually a stone bridge existed here before this bridge, probably around the mid-13th century. And this current one, which is made of sandstone, dates back to 1891, 1892. So we're on the way to the hotel right now. Suitcase is still doing well, which makes me happy. And hun, you said it was rolling really easy too, right? Very easy, yeah. Oh, that's good. Okay, so we arrived at our hotel. This is Marburger Hof. Yeah, right here. We are in room 214. And I like it. It's a nice little room. So you've got like a mirror here. Hi, everyone. And a little desk. Out there is a really big balcony, which is really cool. There's the bed. Oh, they gave us some Haribo too. That's exciting. And then I really like the size of the bathroom. So, hi guys. I'm like a mess from running around Marburg all day. Look how big the bathroom is. Not bad. Now it's time to go to dinner. So this is where we're going. It's called Barrio Santo. Hopefully they have good burritos because I have not had a burrito probably since I've been in the US. I am going to order the burrito con pollo. It comes with chicken, so that looks good. So the burrito is a lot bigger than I thought it would be. My husband got the pasta. Also, guten Appetit. Guten Appetit. So we are back at the hotel. Dinner was so good. I actually legitly liked the burrito. It was so good, but it was way bigger than I expected, but I still ate like pretty much almost all of it. So I can barely breathe right now. But for both of us, so like I said, my husband got the pasta and I got the burrito, and what, it was only 34 euros? Yeah. That's not bad for all that food we got. No. But anyway, so we are exhausted now. So we're gonna go ahead and sleep, and then we have one thing that I want to do tomorrow before we head back home. So see you guys in the morning. Gute Nacht. Guten Morgen zusammen. So it is the next day, and we have a couple more things we want to do here in Marburg before we head home. So we ate breakfast, we are ready. Also, los geht's. So here's our hotel, and over here is where we had breakfast. So actually I really like this hotel. It's not the most fancy thing, but right over here is where the Elisabethkirche is. And this has been a pretty central location, so I'm happy about that. I also like that right here where the hotel is, there's a Rossmann, so if you need anything, you can get it here. I needed a labello, so we came here for that. So there's Elisabethkirche, and it looks like over here they're getting ready for their Christmas market. Oh, that's so nice. So on our way to our next destination, we actually are going to stop here at the Botanical Garden here in Marburg. And this garden has actually been around since 1810. And you can just stroll the area, so that's what we're going to do. It's actually right here next to the university's library. So we have arrived at our next destination. This is the Philips-Universität Marburg, or Philips-Universität, and this was founded in 1527. And I have some cool things to say about this university. This is actually the university that the Grimm brothers attended, and while here they got a lot of inspiration to write the fairy tales that we know today. Of course, Disney makes them a little nice for us. But yes, this is where the Grimm brothers studied, and I think that's really interesting. So we didn't even realize, but here in Marburg they have a Grimm Pfad. That's basically like a Grimm brothers trail that you can walk here in Marburg, and at different spots you'll have references to their fairy tales. So earlier in the video I showed these animal heads, and then there was the Froschkönig, which the Grimm brothers actually wrote this fairy tale. There was a shoe, I can't remember if I showed that, but there was a shoe at the castle, and so that's all related to their fairy tales. So unbeknownst to us, we were walking the trail, like a lot of the trail, without even knowing. But you can do that. I think that's really cool. So we are at Barfußerstraße 35, and this is actually where Jakob Grimm lived from 1802 to 1803 while he was studying here in Marburg. So in 1803, the brothers ended up living together, and so Jakob moved from this location to a place with his brother on Windelgasse 4. So we're headed there now. So we're pretty sure this is where it is, where the Brothers Grimm lived together during their studies here in Marburg. We are walking back to the hotel to get ready to leave, but then we came across here in the Marktplatz this fountain, which looks really cool. And apparently Elisabeth's daughter, Sophie von Brabant, she founded actually the state of Hessen here at this spot in 1248. That is cool. In honor of the Grimms, I want to go ahead and read a little story by them in German, but I'll have the English translation on the screen. This is called Die Sterntaler. Es war einmal ein kleines Mädchen, dem Vater und Mutter gestorben waren. Es war so arm, dass es kein Kämmerchen mehr hatte, darin zu wohnen, und kein Bettchen mehr, darin zu schlafen, und zuletzt gar nichts mehr als die Kleider auf dem Leib und ein Stück Brot in der Hand. Da ging es hinaus ins Feld. Es begegnete ihm ein armer Mann, der bat Essen, und es gab ihm das Brot. Dann kam ein Kind, das fuhr, und es gab ihm sein Mützchen. Und so gab es nach und nach alles her, was es trug. Endlich stand es ganz arm da,
Da fielen auf einmal die Sterne vom Himmel und wurden zu blanken Talern, und obwohl es alle Kleider weggegeben hatte, hatte es doch ein neues an. Das Ende. Die Ende. Das Ende.
That concludes our time here in Marburg. I loved this city. It was so beautiful. A lot of the buildings are still intact throughout history, because I did read online that during World War II there was only about 4% of the city that was destroyed by bombing. So a lot of the city is still intact and still historical, you know, and I can see why the Grimm brothers kind of got their inspiration here to start with for their fairy tales, and yeah, I think that's really cool. I also want to thank Level 8 again for the suitcase. The suitcase has held up very well. We've had no issues with it. And before I share a product on my channel, I won't do that until I research the product, and working with Level 8 has been really great. The person that I was talking to, super friendly, super nice, and I think that really reflects the company. And then I did research their products, of course, because I don't want to recommend a product that I wouldn't like. And they had really great reviews. They've won different awards for their design. And I can see why. I mean, we dragged the suitcase over all different types of terrain, cobblestone streets and throughout the sidewalks and through the parking garages, and it's been really great. So yeah, thank you so much, Level 8. I really appreciate that. And thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. My favorite part, of course, was the Grimm brothers history. I thought that was really cool. And yeah, so I hope to see you guys next time. Bis nächstes Mal. Tschüss.